Everyone, this is Surya Kaushal sir, and today I am going to discuss the second chapter of physics of class 9th, force and Newton's law of motion. So friends, in this chapter I will discuss force, effects of force, types of force, momentum, moment of inertia and laws of motion. So friends, firstly I just want to discuss one thing. As you know, before this chapter you have already studied about motion. Okay, motion. In first chapter you have discussed about it. Motion, what do you mean by motion? The continuous change in position with respect to time. Its simple definition is what? The continuous change in position with respect to time is known as motion. Okay, so in previous chapter you have discussed about motion, but in this chapter we will discuss the causes of motion. The causes of motion means causes of motion means if a body is moving, then why it is moving, or if a body is stopped, then why it is stopped. A body is in rest, it remains at rest. Why? All these phenomena we will discuss in this chapter, force and Newton's law of motion. Okay, Newton has given 3 laws of motion. Those laws will be also discussed in this chapter. Firstly, what do you mean by force? Force. What is force? A push or pull acting on any body. A push or pull acting on any body. Acting on any body is known as force. Means what? If we are pushing a body or we are pulling a body, both phenomena is known as force. Okay. For example, opening the window, hitting a ball or kicking a football, all these processes is known as force. There are many effects of force in our everyday life. The first effect of force is what? A force can move a stationary body. Okay, force can move a stationary body. Let us suppose a body is in stationary position. If we apply some force on it, then it start to move. Okay, without applying any force, this body cannot change its position. Okay, so in simply we can say that motion can be occur due to applying some force. Okay, so you can say that a force can move a stationary body. In second effect, you can say a force can stop a moving body. Let us suppose this body is moving in forward direction. This car is moving in forward direction, and if we apply brake on it, then its speed becomes slower and ultimately it will stop. Okay, so you can say that in second application, a moving object can be stopped by applying some force. Third one is what? A force can change the speed of the moving body. Okay, force can change the speed of a moving body, because if a body is moving in this forward direction and you applying some brake on it, then its speed becomes slower. Okay, or you can say that it is an object having mass m and it is moving in this direction. If a man applying some force in the opposite direction of this force is F1, this is another force F2. So the speed of this body becomes slower because the both forces are acting in the opposite direction to each other. Okay, this F1 force is acting in forward direction and this F2 force is acting in backward direction. So here the resultant force means F net total force will be equals to F1 minus F2, because force is a vector quantity. Force is a vector quantity means what? Which depends on magnitude as well as direction. Okay, force is a vector quantity, so you can say that it depends on magnitude as well as direction. Okay, there are two types of quantities you have already studied in first chapter. One is scalar quantity. It depends only on magnitude. depends on only magnitude, and another is vector quantity. So what do you mean by vector quantity? It is a type of quantity which depends on magnitude as well as direction. If a football is moving in this direction, okay, and we applied force also in this direction, okay, so here due to F1 force it is moving here, and we applied here F2 force. So here what will be resultant? F net. F net will be equals to F1 plus F2, because both forces are in the same direction, and if the forces will be in the same direction, so there will be additive nature of force. Okay, additive nature of force means what? The resultant of force will be equals to F1 plus F2. So here the speed of this football will be increased. In fourth effect, you can say the force can change direction of a moving body. If a body is moving in this direction and you applied some force in this direction, so the direction of this body will be changed. Okay, so we can say that the direction of a body can be changed by applying some force on it. Without applying force, we cannot change the direction of a moving body. We want to change the shape of this body having mass m, then also we should apply some force on it. Without applying force, we cannot change the shape of a body. Okay, so force is also useful for changing the shape. Now, types of force. Okay friends, so there are two types of force. First one is balanced force, another one is unbalanced force. So what do you mean by balanced force? Okay, when we applied some forces on a body equally in all direction or from all directions, let this F1 force is applied towards west, and also F1 force is applied towards east. This F1 force is applied towards south, and this F1 force is also applied towards south. So here each and every forces will be equal to 0, because this force F1 will balance this F1 force, and this F1 force will balance this F1 force. One more example of it. Let us suppose a body having mass m. If we applied a force F1 in downward direction, another force F1 in upward direction, okay, and a force F2 in this direction, and another force F2 in the opposite direction of this force. Okay, so here also this F1 will balance this F1, and this F2 will balance this F2, and here the resultant force will be equal to 0. Okay, so we can say that a balanced force having no force. Okay, a balanced force having no force. Why? Because here the resultant of all forces is equal to 0. Okay, so we can say that a balanced force cannot move a stationary body. Also, a balanced force cannot stop a moving body. It neither changes the direction of a moving body nor speed of the moving body. Then, what is the work of this balanced force? It can change the shape of a body. Okay, it can change, a balanced force can change the shape of a body. Simply, we can say that if the resultant force of a body is equal to 0, if the resultant force or net force of a body is equal to 0, then this type of force is known as balanced force. And if the resultant force of a body is not equal to 0, okay, if the resultant force of a body is not equal to 0, then that force is known as unbalanced force. Means what? If we are applying a force F1 on it in this direction, and the force F2 also in this direction, so here the resultant will be equals to F1 plus F2. Okay, so here we can say that there are some resultant, so we can say that the unbalanced force cannot be equal to 0. In another example, let us suppose a body having mass m, and if we applying a force F1 in this direction, another force F2 in this direction. Okay, so friends, here also net force will be equals to F1 minus F2 because the direction of both forces are in opposite direction. Okay. So here we can say that the resultant force will be equals to F1 minus F2. Friends, force is a vector quantity. Okay. Force is a vector quantity. So force depends on two factors. One is magnitude and the one is direction. Okay. First one is magnitude and the one is direction. So we can say that here the direction of both forces are opposite direction. So we can say that the resultant force will be equals to F1 minus F2. If the resultant force of a body is not equal to 0, then that type of force is known as unbalanced force. Friends, we can say that an unbalanced force can move a stationary body. Let us suppose this is a stationary body having mass m, and if we are pulling it in this direction, so it will move. Okay, and this type of force is known as unbalanced force. So an unbalanced force can change the direction of a moving body, also it stop a moving body, and also it can move a body in stationary position. Also it can move a body which is in stationary position. Okay, let us suppose this body is in stationary position and we are applying a force here F1, so it will move in this direction. Okay, so we can say that an unbalanced force is always required to stop a moving body, also for moving a stationary body. There are four types of fundamental forces which occur in our universe. There are four types of fundamental forces which occur in our universe. First force is what? This is gravitational force. Gravitational force, which will be discussed in our next chapter. Another force is what? Electrostatic force or electromagnetic force. You can say electromagnetic force. Okay. Another force is weak nuclear force. And last force is what? Strong nuclear force. Strong nuclear force. The weakest force of our universe is gravitational force, and the strongest force of the universe is strong nuclear force. Now, what do you mean by momentum? Momentum. What do you mean by momentum? In simply, you can say that the product of mass and velocity. Okay, the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. It is represented by small p. So p will be equals to m into v. Here p will be equals to m into v. M is mass and v is velocity. It is a vector quantity. And here the SI unit of this momentum is SI unit of momentum will be equals to, the SI unit of mass is what? Kilogram, and the SI unit of velocity is meter per second. So the SI unit of momentum will be kilogram meter per second. Now we are going to discuss the laws of motion. Laws of motion. There are three laws of motion. So firstly, first law of motion is what? First law of motion. If a body is in rest, it remains at rest. Okay. If a body is in rest, it remains at rest. And if a body is in motion, it will be moved continuously until or unless an unbalanced force is applied on it. Okay. In first law, you can say if a body is in rest, it remains at rest, and if a body is in motion, it will move continuously until or unless an unbalanced force is applied on it. This is our first law. It is also called law of inertia. It is also called law of inertia. Means inertia also depends on mass, or you can say that inertia is directly proportional to mass of the body. If the mass of the body increased, then the inertia will be also increased. So you can say that the body having mass, greater mass, the body having greater mass have more inertia, and if a body having less mass, then their inertia will be also less. There are three types of inertia. One is inertia at rest, another is inertia of motion, and last one is what? Inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. What do you mean by inertia of rest? If a body is in stationary position, then their inertia will be in rest. Okay. And if a body is moving, then its inertia will be in motion. So you can say that its inertia is in motion. And if a body is changing its direction, so its inertia will be inertia of direction. Now, second law of motion is what? Second law of motion. The rate of change of momentum. The rate of change of momentum will be directly proportional to the applied force. Okay. In second law, you can say that the rate of change of momentum will be directly proportional to the applied force. Means what? Delta P upon delta T will be directly proportional to the applied force. Delta P is what? Change in momentum, and delta T is what? Time taken. Okay. So the rate of change of momentum will be directly proportional to the applied force. Here, the value of delta P can be right here, P final minus P initial. This is final momentum and this is initial momentum, and this delta T is time taken. So it will be directly proportional to F. The value of momentum can be right here, mv. V is the final velocity of the body, and mu is the initial velocity of the body. Here mass is not changing, so mv minus mu upon T will be directly proportional to F. Okay. Or we can be right here, m will be taken out common, so m v minus u upon T, and this is the value of acceleration. Okay, this is the value of acceleration. It will be directly proportional to F. So F can be also write here directly proportional to m into a. And when the proportionality will be removed, then here will be a constant term. This is called K, m into a, and in SI system, the value of this K is 1. So F will be equals to m into a. This is called force. Okay. And the SI unit of force is what? SI unit of force. The SI unit of mass is kilogram, and SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Okay, so kilogram meter per second square, or you can say that Newton. Okay, Newton is also the SI unit of force. If a body having mass 1 kg is moving on applying acceleration 1 meter per second square, so 1 kg upon 1 meter per second square will be equals to 1 Newton. Okay, so you can say that the SI unit of force is Newton. Now, third law of motion. Third law of motion is what? Third law of motion, or you can say that Newton's third law. Okay, in Newton's third law, each and every actions have equal and opposite reaction. Have equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so each and every actions have equal and opposite reaction. If we apply F1 force on it, then this board will also apply F1 force on us. So you can say that each and every actions have equal and opposite reaction. There are many applications of this Newton's third law. For example, walking on road. Here also third law is applying. In jet aeroplane, jet aeroplane, recoiling of gun, recoiling of gun, okay,